All right, HBCU Legends fans, the moment is here. It's week 1 in HBCU football. And Coach Daryl, Steward, and I are here to be able to give you our thoughts and our predictions on what's going to happen this week because we got a full slate of football games to be able to share with you. So let's kick it off with Coach Daryl Stewart. What's going on, Cole?
How you doing, Mr. Mosley? Great introduction, man.
Oh man, I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. I feel like Flavor Flav right now. Let's get it rolling, baby, because this is football season is here. Coach, man, it just seemed like a few months ago, we were just like, man, we can't wait till football is here. And it is here, man. So, guys, let's take care of this. Go to hbculegends.net to check up on all of the articles that myself, as well as a couple of contributing writers, are producing. Don't forget that this weekend, we got some great games, so we're going to be reporting live, especially from the 39th Labor Day Classic between Prairie View A&M and Texas Southern. And, Coach, I just feel as though this is going to be a special season, even though people may say, hey, there's no Florida A&M dominance. There's no Jackson State dominance, but somebody's going to rise to the top, and we may have some surprises all in all, man. So just what's your initial thoughts about how you feel about this season going forward?
Well, definitely the football season is here, and it's gotten out to a rocky start.
Uh-oh.
and an exciting start, Mr. Mosley. When you look at the teams that have already won and lost, I'm like you. The West is wide open and the East is wide open. So it's going to be an exciting year. I kind of got fooled early, but I'm very shocked behind it, and a lot of fans are shocked.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know what Coach is talking about, last night, let's start with the first game of the season. We didn't really have a chance to go into depth in week 0 in the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Coach, you thought it was going to be a close game, and it was a close game, and it was a winnable game for Norfolk State, but they came off on the losing side by 1 point, 24-23 to Florida A&M. Talk about just that game right quick, just a little snippet.
Well, the game could have went either way. I thought both coaches did an outstanding job of preparing their teams. But, it came down to coaching, Mr. Moses, what we talked about. We feel like with 2 brand new teams, one coach was experienced, the other one was not. We just felt like that whoever won the first game was going to have to manage the game real well. And lo and behold, it was Coach James Cozy. Hats off to him and his program, how he went in at halftime and made the necessary adjustments to come back and win a big one for their Rattler program.
Yeah, and it also was something that a lot of people kind of swept under the radar, and I told you that we need to be looking out for this kid, Daniel Richardson, the transfer from Florida Atlantic University, but he also played 3 seasons in Central Michigan, right? And this kid had over 7,000 yards passing. And I kept on telling people, don't sleep on him. And he was the MVP of the game. He really did a great job.
Yeah.
So just keep his name in the back of your minds going forward. I'm pretty sure if he continues to put a string of games like he did against Norfolk, we will be talking about him as a candidate for the Black College Player of the Year, given by the Black College Football Hall of Fame. So that is that right there. But Coach, last night, Thursday night, we had 3 games in the SWAC where your beloved went down to ULM 30-14. Talk about Jackson State.
Yeah, man, it was an upsetting, hard-fought game. I thought Jackson started off real well, but then, we never did make the necessary adjustments, Kyle. And I'm very shocked that Coach Taylor coming in a year or two, everyone was excited about him taking over play calling. But, the defense, they played lights out in the beginning, then at the end, they started slowing down. I'm wondering what everybody says, this was a mistake. He should have been more of a game manager and hired him a coordinator, because when you watching him on the sideline doing defense time, he was steady trying to get the offense together.
Oh, really?
And so these are one of the things that young head coaches make the mistake of. And I think, you don't want to say it, but if he doesn't get any help on the offensive side, it's going to come and bite him in the long run.
Yeah, well, that's something to take a look at, man, and we'll keep our eye on it. We can't pay too much attention to it right now, but you said something interesting to me about the next game. Was it Auburn? No, it was Arkansas. They had a 70-0 win over Arkansas Pine Bluff, which wasn't surprising, right?
Right.
Because we're talking about who's over there, Bobby Petrino?
Right.
Yeah, but one thing you thought was encouraging out of the Pine Bluff team was what?
Yeah, they started off strong and they never quit. They definitely have some talent on their team. The game was 21-3 at the half. And so, these teams, they starting out well. I feel like they can play with them. It's just finishing, Mr. Mosley. But that young Arkansas Pine Bluff has some great talent. And, they're going to be a force to reckon with on the west side.
Yeah, I kept telling people after watching them 17 points down at Dynamo Stadium here in the Houston area against Texas Southern, the last game of the season, which really was the game that kind of sealed Coach McKinney's fate. To lose that game after being up by 17 points at halftime and watch Pine Bluff come back that fourth quarter to just not only take the lead, but just was convincing how they did it. So, Coach Alonzo Hampton, kudos to you and your program, and I'm looking forward to see what these guys going to do.
Yeah.
All right. Look, North Carolina A&T, those guys played Wake Forest last night, and they lost 45-13, which wasn't surprising as well, right? So, was there any keys from that game? Did you have a chance to pay attention to it?
Yeah, same thing, Kyle. A lot of the teams are starting off strong, but then in the second half, they tend to show that, I don't want to say give up spirit, but they tend to just lay down. And we got to, and the surprising thing about these games, Kyle, none of our guys left with a serious injury. So I think our head coaches need to, the presentation and the speech needs to be, we can play with these guys. I think these kids are going in thinking, hey, it's a money game. I'm going to try to get out this game, get ready for the next one. But when you look at the first half, even the commentators are, hey, it's a game. And so I just think, we might be selling. I don't know what the coaches are saying in the locker room, but clearly these HBCUs, they can really play with the Division I schools.
Yeah.
So, we just got to make the better adjustment and get the mental part of the game correct.
All right, get the mental correct. And one game that we talked about. Now, look, everybody had Alcorn as their preseason favorites on a lot of different polls. And they predicted them as number 2 in the SWAC behind Alabama State. They predicted them to be able to win the SWAC West. It's just one game, and they were facing UAB with Trent Dilfer at the helm there. But what was concerning to me was the post-game commentary from Coach Thomas, and it wasn't that he said anything negative about his team, more so that when he says that, let me get it right, that this offense needs to, get their stuff together, so to speak. I mean, what does that say to you? Because right now we're in the season, and next week they play Vanderbilt. I don't see where this offense is going to get this stuff together anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree. I saw the frustration on his face in the interview. Alcorn is in panic mode right now. They don't know who the quarterback is. It's clearly not the young man they displayed on last night, Macon. I just think he's more of a running back, and that's probably why Coach McNair didn't start him as well. But I just think right now this is what's going to show from Coach Thomas. His faith is going to show right now. We're going to find out, is he really a SWAC head coach in these next couple of head games? Because guess what, Mr. Moses? It's crunch time. He has to get his offense together. If not, the Braves are going to be in trouble.
Braves are in trouble. I'm sorry. The Braves are in trouble, Coach. And look, man, when you're the head coach, and I know you say we're going to get things fixed, of course, that's what you've got to say, right? Because this is your program. You've got to be able to get everything back in line, because it's really up to you. Now, the defense, I got to credit the defense. They had, 3 turnovers? Was it 2 fumbles they created as well as 1 pick? So the defense did whatever they could to kind of keep them in check. But when the coach said for the offense, that was probably one of the worst exhibitions I've seen. That says a lot. Says a lot. And platooning 3 quarterbacks, Tyler Macon, Xavier Vaughn, as well as Roderick Hartfield Jr. And look, Macon as the starter, he was 3 of 7 for 4 yards.
Unbelievable.
And 1 interception. Hartsfield was 1 of 2 for 31 yards. So he only had 1 completion, 31 yards. Vaughn, he had probably the better performance. He connected 5 of 12 times for 25 yards, but no touchdowns. This is alarming. If I was anyone in the Braves nation, do you go knocking on Fred McNeese door? No, man, I'm kidding.
Hey, this is Sports Illustrated, baby. Let's go, Kyle T-Bose. Give it to the fans.
Do you say, do you know where I'm going to? Do you see the things that life is showing you? Do you know? And right now, I don't know if they know, baby. And it's really concerning to me. That's just my opinion. Coach, correct me if I'm wrong. All right. So if you look at those first few games, do you say Florida A&M's on track and everybody else is off the rails?
I definitely say Florida A&M has the better talent than the teams we saw right now. I'm just waiting on to see Grambling and Prairie View and Southern. But I've seen Southern. I still think Florida A&M has the better talent than a lot of our teams right now. Just waiting on to see Grambling and see what kind of showing they're going to put on tomorrow. But, Kyle, I mean, I talked to some more reporters today, and the thing that they're saying, the NIL space is hurting the HBCUs right now. A lot of people talked about Alcorn doesn't have any talent. A lot of people talk about Jackson and having talent. And I'm going to tell you something. Jackson talent is on the defensive side of the ball. I didn't see Mulligan. I didn't see Rico Powers might have caught one pass.
Yeah, he was quiet the whole game.
Yeah, Fabian McCray caught that touchdown, but not the talented team you'll see a Jackson State team in the past. And I'm wondering, Kyle, we talked about this on the Brad Cooper show. I'm wondering, is the NIL hurting HBCUs right now? Because the talent level, teams are not scoring. Teams are not moving the ball. What do we do, Kyle?
Pray. Oh, I'm sorry. What we do is go back to the lab, like Coach Thomas said. We got to go back to the lab. All right, go back to the lab, man. And I think you got to go back to the lab because right now it is not good in the neighborhood, in my opinion, man. And I've seen this before, and usually teams wait, especially HBCU teams, because these next games, you're going to have a lot of FBS, FCS type of schools going against them, right, outside of the conference, and then they get into the heart of their conference schedule after week 3, so to speak, right? And I don't know, Coach, I'm just thinking, seeing what I see, I'm very concerned, especially for Alcorn, especially since a lot of pundits and experts had them at the top.
Right.
I don't see it. I don't see where that's a top level type of performance, and you cannot go forward and win at any level, even high school, with your starter just, completing 4 yards and passing, right?
Hey, Kyle, people can say what they want to say, but I gave 3 examples today to 2 ESPN reporters, and they said, Coach, you know what? You're exactly right. Picture Coach Prime without that NIL $1 million guy, Travis Hunter. It'd be an ugly football team.
It'd be a horrible football team because Travis saved them.
Travis saved. You took the words.
But you gotta give credit to Shador, but he had the target.
Right.
Right. He had the target, man.
Right.
So
I just think right now, Kyle, when you look at the payday, the money is there. Mm-hmm. You get Pro Football Focus, the teams that went over to Ireland got the big pay. The money is there. I just think right now, the kids and the recruits, they're not playing about NIL. And so if you want a Travis Hunter in an HBCU, you can get it. It's just these kids now, they want the NIL.
So, Cole, because we talked about NILs a lot, man, and I don't want to lose too much time, but NIL money is here. I am in Houston. I know it's here. I know people are willing to give up the money. I know it. But why aren't these teams, programs, athletic, whatever, are being more aggressive? We'll talk about that at another time. But right now, man, I have to agree with you. The money is here. It's abundant. It's available. You just got to be able to get to it. And we're just not getting to it. The guy, the coach from Wake Forest, he told ESPN they are having problems finding talent because they lack the resources. Well, in essence, what he was saying, we lack the money. Right. So if they lack the money and they're FBS, of course, FCSs and the HBCUs are going to have problems too. But I still believe if you're around like North Carolina is rich in tobacco and other industries and stuff to that nature, you can find some money.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of money in North Carolina.
Am I wrong? All right. So anyway, man, I just think that's interesting altogether. We're going to talk a little bit about the Orange Blossom Classic, Coach. And Orange Blossom Classic is coming up on Sunday after everybody else goes and plays on Saturday. But this has become one of the premier events. The past 3 seasons, Jackson State has been a part of it, battling Florida A&M. Now this season, both of those guys are out of the picture. Now we have Alabama State going against the NCCU team. We got Trey Oliver against Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. We think Andrew Body. We don't know. And we got Mr. Harris, who's going to Walker. Yeah. So those guys are going to Walker Harris. So I apologize. And who is going to be a part of leading the Eagles team. Coach, right now, when you see these teams, they seem to be equally matched on paper. What do you see off the paper or understand about the programs off the paper that people should be aware of?
Well, talent-wise, a lot of, question marks on the Central team. Not hearing, you hear about the quarterback, but you don't hear about anyone else. And, of course, that quarterback makes the team go. But when you talk about Alabama State, you're talking about quarterback, you're talking about linebackers, you're talking about the talent is there. It's a loaded gun. Let's just hope he has all his bullets ready for them on tomorrow night, because this is another game that's going to come down to coaching. You're in the big bright lights of Miami, Florida. We're going to see if the Hornets can handle a championship atmosphere, Mr. Mosley.
Yeah, look, and Andrew Body's in a close contest with Jonah O'Brien, the young man from Eastern Illinois. Of course, Andrew Body is the most senior SWAC quarterback right now. And, well, I think if I look at everything besides Daniel Richardson, he's had the most experience of any HBCU quarterback right now, Andrew Body. So Body takes his talent from Houston, H-Town, and he's now in Montgomery under Coach Robinson. But Coach Robinson said it's been a close contest. He said it as of yesterday, right? And I think in the press conference today, he even echoed that it may be a game time decision. Why? I mean, we see this from Chris Dishman here with Texas Southern. Why game time decision, or is this just a tactic from the head coaches?
I think it's a tactic. I think we're going to see in Alabama State case, I think we're going to see Body to start off the game. Now, if Body doesn't, come through for Alabama State, then you might see a change at quarterback to get them going, because their offense is shaky, and they have to get it off to a great start to challenge this tough North Carolina Central team. If not, it could be a long day for the Hornets.
That's interesting. You said the offense is shaky. So if a coach doesn't name a quarterback, that means he's not comfortable? Yeah.
I mean, he's not for sure. He probably wants to keep him hungry, keep him guessing. I always thought, it was a concern bringing in another quarterback late like he did. This kid he brought in late. Of course, he's pretty good, but he's coming into the program late. So keep in mind, A.D. Capel, it's a lot of pressure on Coach Robinson. This is year 4. They picked the Hornets to win it. And I think A.D. Capel is going to put the pressure on him. Knowing that a Fred McNeese out there, a lot of these head coaches are under pressure because these ADs want to win. You got a guy with 4 SWAC championships out there. It's going to be a lot of pressure on all these head coaches.
But is it fair to say that at this particular time, we're just talking about Robinson going into his 3rd season, man?
Right.
We're not talking about somebody who's been there 5-6 years. We're talking about 3rd season. Is it fair to say he's not given enough time at this time?
It's not fair, Kyle, but when you look at the pro coaches, everybody's talking about the DeMeco Ryan effect, doing it in 1 year now. College programs don't care either, man. Coaches now are getting paid, and this is what come with the big bucks. Alabama State is paying him well. I just think right now, you're in that CEO head coach's seat, and I think it's the Hornets are screening championship, and I think he has to deliver. If not, it could be on shaky ground.
Wow. Coach, coming off the top rope. say, Coach Robinson Jr. got to do it. Look, I don't know, man. I do feel as though it's this. I think Andrew Body, I know the young man personally and his family personally, and I think they are great people. And I think Andrew is a great young man, and I think he's going to eventually take over that job. But it's interesting that Jonah O'Brien has been pushing and pushing and pushing. If that's the case, like you said, that gives Coach a safety net, right?
Right.
It's kind of like what happened with Musa. Remember how he took over after the young man, I forgot the young man's name, who was kind of shaky in that Jackson State game, and Musa came in and he never gave up that starting role. So I think that might be kind of the similar situation if we are playing it in the same vein that could possibly happen, man. But we shall see, Coach. I mean, I still believe Alabama State is going to be able to win this game. I have them as a 3-point favorite. How do you see it?
It's going to be a very close game, but I have to get an edge to a guy that's been there before. He's used to being in that championship spotlight. Trade the truth, all of his game's close. He's going to seal the deal. And I just think right now Alabama State has a great team, but could be seeing the future of the Celebration Bowl in this matchup. You could be seeing a round 2 in this matchup.
You're right, and I think that is going to be two teams that are very capable of returning in December in Atlanta at the Celebration Bowl. Everybody said this is the preview, so usually that rubber match, the second one, whoever wins the first one, that next time the team gets you the next one. So we'll see how this goes down, man. But I believe all in all, I think Kendra Bullock Major has done a tremendous job reviving the Orange Blossom Classic, and kudos to her and her team to be able to have two great programs like Alabama State as well as NCCU, but before having FAMU and Jackson State. And a little birdie has told me, Coach, and multiple sources have told me that we're going to have two new teams next year in the Orange Blossom Classic. And we're talking about storied programs that may renew their rivalries. Think about that.
I thought you was gonna say they was gonna move it to New Orleans. I was sure enough to be. Hey man, I love the Orange Blossom Classic. I think it's a great classic. Mega cities are big for the conference, but I just think right now we're we need to float that thing around, man. I think New Orleans needs a game.
Yeah, she's not taking it out. She's not going to take it away from Florida. That is like history for her dad and family, FAMU, and hearing the history. That was her main motivation for reviving the game after it went into hiatus after 1978. So, yeah, it's going to stay there, and she has a lot of support from like Denny's is their title sponsor, and a lot of other major sponsors, Aflac and other Allstate and other people who are going to be there. But when we talk about bowl games, of course, we got the HBCU Legacy Bowl over in New Orleans. And, Doug ain't giving it up, baby.
Nah, yeah. Even though he's in the GM role, senior management role, Doug, give us some money, baby. He ain't giving it up.
He ain't giving it up. All right, guys, we will be back in 2 minutes and 2 seconds. I'm Kyle T. Mosley of HBCU Legends. All right, Cole. We are back, man. We are back, and let's talk about this. We got a full slate of games, and you want to run down these bad boys?
I'll let you take them.
Oh, hold on, man. You gonna let me take them? Let's see. Coach gonna leave me out and let me take them. So let's pull up the schedules. Let's start off with the SWAC, Coach. Of course, we talked about the 4 games that have already been played, but on this weekend we got the big one down in Tallahassee. Florida A&M welcomes Coach Chinnisberry and the Bulldogs from South Carolina State. Come on, Cole. You got to give it. What's going to happen, baby?
Man, the Coach Chinnisberry era starts tomorrow, man. It's going to be an exciting game, man. But the Rattlers right now, man, I just think after seeing, everybody talk about fan wanted to see what Jackson was going to be like. What Jackson after seeing what I saw last night, man, the Rattler fans and the OG Strike Zone talking noise, man. The Rattler fans are ready. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Rattlers are going to pull it out by 3.
All right, Coach got FAMU. I'm going with the Bulldogs. I'm going with South Carolina State, baby. So that's game 1. Then you have Mississippi Valley at Tennessee State. Okay, we pretty much know what this is going to be, right? Coach, who you got?
Tennessee State all the way. Coach Eddie George's going to start off 1-0.
Tennessee State for me as well. Then you have Bethune-Cookman at South Florida.
South Florida.
Yeah, South Florida for me as well. And then you have Alabama A&M. Well, going against Auburn. That's unfair. That's just not fair. Because, you freeze, right? That's not fair. Talk about that, man.
Definitely. I'm going to tell you something, Kyle. I was kind of shocked, man. I read, they only got $400,000.
Yeah.
That was, I thought that was kind of, seeing that Western Kentucky got $1.9 million for playing Georgia.
What?
No, for playing Tennessee. That's who they're playing.
Okay.
And, I just say, man, we got to do a better job of negotiating, man. The money is there. We're just signing. If we get anything over $200,000, we feel like it's a lot of money. But hey, we got to do a better job. They could have got more than $400 from Auburn.
That is surprising, and I have to agree with you. I thought the more money would be able to come into their pockets, especially going to Auburn, which is a great stadium to play in. Man, oh my gosh, it's really good, really nice, and the money is flowing in Auburn. So I just don't know why it wasn't flowing their way, So, all right. So next game, let's talk about Southern against McNeese.
Yeah, it's going to be if the weather stays strong. Southern is evenly matched with McNeese. I saw them last week against Tarleton State. They struggled in the beginning of the game. He's another coach that's trying to put that team together. But they had some bright spots at the end, but they came up short. They missed a lot of field goals. I think this is an evenly matched game for Southern. I think Southern can win this game 21-14. I'm picking Southern to win 21-14.
Yeah, I'm going with the Jags as well, man. I am going with the Jags for the upset of this one. Grambling playing the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana.
Nobody knows what Grambling has. All you hear about is the quarterback, Miles Crowley, but everyone else is kind of suspect. I do know that they're going to come out ready to play. But, this is going to be a game time decision. I think it's going to be a close ball game, but it's going to be 10-7. I'll say 10-7 Louisiana Lafayette.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be low scoring. They're in a turnover roster as well. Louisiana Lafayette losing their coaches, coming back. I just think with these coaches turnover, these teams are putting these rosters together really fairly slowly, Kyle. So I think it's going to be a close ball game.
I think it's going to be bigger than that, man. And I got the edge for Grambling. So you say Louisiana, I say Grambling on this one, man. I think Grambling's prime for the upset there. Norfolk State goes to East Carolina, and I think I know where you're going with that one.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Odom showed bright spots in his game last week, man. It's just tough bringing challenging programs along like a Norfolk State. But he has to keep his guys going and keep them hungry. And I think he can do that. But it's going to be a tough road ahead tomorrow. They're going to come up short.
Okay. Sorry, guys. We're doing the MEAC as well. I'm going to go back to one game in the SWAC later. Morgan State at Hampton.
Damian Wilson, first win. It's going to be tomorrow, Kyle. I think he's going to go in, have his team ready. I think Morgan State's going to win this one big, 28-3, 28-0.
Okay. We forgot to mention this one. Howard did lose to Rutgers last night. But then we have these games. So the premier game, in my opinion, is the one we're covering here in the Houston area. The 39th Labor Day Classic between Texas Southern and Prairie View. How do you see that one going down, Cole?
Big game in Houston tomorrow. The lights are going to be bright. Two great head coaches. Bubba McDowell, though, too much in that Prairie View program, too much for the young and up-and-coming Tigers of Texas Southern right now. I think it's going to be a close ball game, but I get an edge to Prairie View Panthers, 28-14.
All right, 28-14. I had 27-24, so I think it's going to be close as well. So those are the MEAC as well as the SWAC games of this week on our schedule, man. And I don't think there is any too big surprises on the wins. I still believe Grambling has a slight edge, but it's tough to play the Raging Cajuns at home, and it is going to be a close game. So the guaranteed payouts from these HBCU schools playing the FBS schools, Alabama A&M is getting $525K to play Auburn. So Grambling is getting $410K. Jackson State got $350K. Alcorn State got $300,000 last night. And Norfolk State to play East Carolina is getting $350K. Okay. So that's the payout there for those guys. Coach, I mean, looking at the schedule and talking about some of these games, is it going to hurt Texas Southern or Prairie View if they lose this game coming up?
No, not at all. I think it'll hurt Prairie View. I really do, because they're screaming championship. They were so close last year to being in the championship. They know what they have coming back and returning. They also have a championship team. So I think it'll hurt Prairie View more than Texas Southern. But no, these teams start off, either team start off 0-1 and finish out strong. I don't think it hurts them at all.
Now, Coach Bubba McDowell named Lucas Coley, the University of Houston transfer, as his starting quarterback. Of course, they had Cam Peterson, who returned to the program at PV. He was penciled in early this season as the number one guy. But Coach said there was just a couple of reasons why he believed Lucas was a little bit ahead of Cam. He was more vocal, and he also got the kids in the right positions on the field. And he had a better knowledge of the playbook. And he said last thing, he didn't let mistakes rattle him. How important is that for a quarterback?
It's very important. We witnessed greatness last night in Shedeur Sanders. Anytime your quarterback can come in, stay calm, cool, collect, knows how to distribute the ball, doesn't get his team in a turnover battle, it's very important. Because if your quarterback shows a weakness, the whole team feeds off of it, and the team can collapse if they feed off of it, Kyle.
Yeah. And I know Coach was really wanting to give that young man who's the returner a chance. And he said that there's still a possibility that they may play 2 or 3 quarterbacks in this game. It's all about the feel of the game, if those guys are going to be able to pick it up, or if they don't. If there's a problem, there's going to be issues, right? And on the flip side, you got Coach Dishman, who still has not named a starter. It's going to be game time decision, either Jace Wilson or Mr. Cooper from, I think the kid's from San Antonio or Waco area, someone like that. He transferred in to the program. He's a big kid, too. I think he's like 6'3", 6'4". Good arm to him as well. But Jace still has been fighting for that position, man.
Yeah, looking at Texas Southern losing their top receiver, I just think right now Coach Dishman shows sign of he wants to bring in his own guys. Nothing against Jace Wilson. I think Jace Wilson can help several teams out there. And then who knows? He might be in the ranks with Texas Southern this year. But if I were him, if I didn't get the nod, there's definitely some teams out there he can help. And who knows? He might get in that transfer portal.
Yeah, I think this is his last season of eligibility, if I'm not mistaken. So I will further investigate that. All right, Coach, let's talk about some SIAC teams, man. Central State is going to play Morehead State. Central State, a long time ago, they were a powerhouse program. Right now, going against Morehead State, do you think they have enough power to be able to do it?
Nah, I mean, Morehead State's going to come in ready to play. Central State is an up-and-coming program. But I do think they're going to come out ready to play. And, who knows? The game might go either way, but I get a nod to Morehead State.
Okay. Clark Atlanta against Fort Valley State at Fort Valley. Ooh, that's going to be a broadcast by the HBCU Go Grio team. I think Johnny Cole is going to be a part of that broadcast. How do you see that one?
Well, the legendary LC Cole is with Clark Atlanta right now, and I know he's a great recruiter. They're going down and play a tough Coach Sean Gears team. But, I got to go with old school right now. The cold-blooded brothers are known for bringing big-time talent into a program. It's not hard to get them in Atlanta. I'm going to get an edge to Clark Atlanta to win this.
Okay. All right. Good. I'm going to go with Fort Valley. Virginia Union against Kentucky State.
Big one here. Kentucky State, great program. I get an edge to Kentucky State.
Really?
I think they pull it off, yeah.
Wow. Coach Dr. Frazier. Alvin Parker. Dr. Alvin Parker at Virginia Union. Dr. Frazier over at Virginia State. So they still got Jada Byers, man. And this is his last season. And I just don't see how Virginia Union, which is predicted to win the CIAA this year. I know this is SIAC, CIAA battle. I think the edge will go to Virginia Union because they have given it to the SIAC the past 3 seasons. Edward Waters at Morehouse College. If you say anything bad about Morehouse, nah.
Hey man, it's gonna be a tough game. When I looked at this game, the first thing I thought about was last year Hail Mary victory over Tuskegee.
Wasn't that something? Yeah, man.
Old Waters has weapons all over the field. The fan base in Jacksonville loves them. It's gonna be a close game, but I just think Edward Waters is gonna be too much for Morehouse.
Yeah, the debut of Terrence Mathis, another NFL guy who takes over the Morehouse Maroon Tigers program. That's my alma mater. I'm going with Morehouse, baby. We're going to come with the upset at BT Harvey Stadium. Put it down. That's going to happen. I know Coach say, Mosley, you're crazy. So
no, Coach Mathis is a great head coach. I coached with him in high school. He's very well known in the Atlanta area, man. Big time coach, knows what he's doing. He's gonna have the Maroon and Red Tigers ready to play.
All right, all right. Virginia State against Benedict. Now Benedict loses Coach Tennis Berry. I think some of the staff stayed, but they got brand new head coach over there going against Dr. Frazier and those guys at Virginia State, which was number 2 to Virginia Union last year in the CIAA. How do you see that one?
I just think right now Benedict still has some weapons. Coach Berry didn't take everybody. He took quarterback and receivers, so they still load the team, have a loaded deck. I think Benedict's going to come out on top with this.
Really? Okay. All right. Coach put Benedict. All right. I'm going with Virginia State. And last one, Tuskegee against Johnson C. Smith. 2 old legendary programs there, baby.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of pressure on the Tuskegee program right now. They are used to being in the limelight. The last couple of years, Tuskegee just hadn't been there. But you wonder what this year going to bring. But I'm going to get an edge to Tuskegee just off tradition. But boy, Mr. Mosley, they are in trouble if they don't win it.
I believe that it's going to be a very close game because Johnson C. Smith is a program improving, and it has been improving quite steadily, man. So I would go with the edge to Johnson C. Smith in this one. Now, I know people are going, what are you talking about? But I think this is an upset, man. So I'm going to go Johnson C. Smith, and you're going to go with Tuskegee. All right, let's kind of wrap up the program. Coach, CIAA, Elizabeth City State versus Shaw.
Shaw, great program, man. Back in the Daryl Asbury days, they were riding high at one time.
Right.
But, when you look at this program right now, can they pull out the upset? I think they can. They're in Raleigh. They have great players. I think Shaw's going to win by 2 touchdowns.
I give Shaw the edge as well. So I agree with you there. University of Charleston is going to play Livingstone.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that is a dub for Charleston. Livingstone has been a struggling program, man. All right. And Winston-Salem State against Bluefield State.
Winston-Salem State, great program, great history behind the program. He's also in some must-win games this year. They're screaming championship. They had a coaching turnover a couple of years ago, but I think he has to win as well. Okay.
All right. Excellent. All right, Cole, any last thoughts, anything on your mind, heart, that we can be able to kind of get off in the last 11 minutes we got?
Yeah, Kyle, I just want to tell these coaches, man, stay in the lab. Just because you had a bad game week 1, stay in the lab, make the necessary corrections. Don't waste your time on a player, though, that can't get it done. A lot of these head coaches, I want to tell you guys, don't be fooled. These presidents will pay you off and get you out of there. So every day counts. Let the players know, hey man, we got to win right now, and put them in the best predicament to do that, guy. I think right now you see coaches making a lot of mental mistakes. When a quarterback, you have all these penalties going on in the game, a lot of turnovers. That's coaching. So they got to get back in the lab, make the necessary adjustments so their team can come out on top.
I talked to a coach, and I think I spoke to you about this. Is it about discipline?
It could be when you, like today, Kyle, when you look at what Coach Prime did with Colorado and his players and the NIL, so to speak, it's discipline. But when you hear a coach from Wake Forest and Oklahoma State say they're tired of talking to NIL agents, when they're talking about parents NIL, these players hear these things. That's why you have to keep them busy if you're not a big NIL program, because clearly right now, you can see a lot of them frustrated. I saw the frustration on the Alcorn sideline yesterday. A couple players wasn't seeing eye to eye. So he has to just go in, make the necessary adjustments, let these players know, hey, man, we still can win it. So because it's a long season, Kyle.
How big of a loss was Fred McNair?
That's a good question. I think right now, looking at it, I think he was a huge loss. It wasn't the time for him to go. Coach McNair has years left for him on coaching the sideline. I just think right now, man, people look at, did he really teach these coaches or was he doing it all? And when you listen to his interview, now everybody's saying, now we see why it hurt Coach McNair, because he probably didn't have the assistant to take over that program.
Wow. Just not to have him on that sideline is going to be kind of strange.
Right.
Right. And it was strange to watch how they were. And correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, and you played the game, but I saw a UAB guy sack the quarterback, right?
Right.
And I saw an offensive lineman watching the play as it happened. And after his quarterback was sacked, did not go to help his quarterback up. Yeah.
Well, I saw the same thing. And you saw it. And that's frustration. That's players not gelling together. And that's coaching. Coach Thomas has to go in right now. Hey, you asked for this job. He wants to be in this seat. These are the things that go along with it. But clearly, the Alcorn State program, I hate to say this, it's going to suffer without Coach McNair this year.
That's really hard to see, man. It was hard to see that your quarterback's on the ground and you're not even trying to help him up.
Right.
I just didn't understand that. All right. Several guys from the National Football League who played in HBCUs are now on teams again. I think we have, 18 that made the initial 53-man roster, and since then there have been some additional signings, and a couple of guys have been placed on practice squads, as well as they've been placed on injured reserve as well. So, of course, you got Teron Armstead, Marquise Bell, Quentin Bell, Isaiah Bolden, Claudine Cherilus. Man, I love that guy. That guy was a thumper at linebacker for Alcorn State, man. He's with Carolina. Brandon Codrington, he's with the Buffalo Bills from NCCU. You got Kobe Durant. He's over at Los Angeles Rams. Jamie Gillen, the punter for the Pine Bluff guys, and he's now over at the Giants. Antonio Hamilton, he's with the Falcons. Javon Hargrave, who's been a staple in the NFL. He's now with San Francisco after going there last year. Kadaro Hodge, the wide receiver for Prairie View, is now with the Atlanta Falcons for, I think, his third straight season. And James Houston, what we call it, Houston, the problem.
Wow.
The problem. And he is with the Detroit Lions, and Titus Howard with the Texans. Isaiah Land made the 53-man roster for the Indianapolis Colts, man. And, of course, that's the FAMU guy, as well as Buck Buchanan Award winner. Trent Scott is with the Commanders, and Grover Stewart with the Colts. And we got Joshua Williams, of course, the Super Bowl winner from the past 2 seasons. He is with the Kansas City Chiefs. Emmanuel Wilson is with the Packers, and Nick Levert is with the Patriots. And we're going to have more of who made the rosters next week. When it comes down to the practice squad and everything else, I'll be able to deliver that to you guys. But don't forget, go to HBCUlegends.net. You can be able to check up on all of the articles that we have about what's happening in the world of HBCUs. Coach Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, they're going to make their rounds with First Take to 3 different locations this year, man. You want any guests?
I know they probably won't be at Tiger Stadium, huh?
Which Tiger Stadium?
Grambling.
No, they're not even coming this side of the Mason-Dixon line, man.
What?
Yeah. So they're going to be at Morehouse, Howard, and they're going to say they went to Winston-Salem already. Morehouse, Howard, and Tennessee State. Those are the 3 locations. So those are pretty good, man. Howard gets to have them first in D.C. with a Hampton-Howard game. Then Tennessee State, they're going to be playing, I think, outside school, outside of their conference on October 11th. And the Clark and Morehouse showdown in November 8th. They're going to be there for it, man. So the whole AUC Center is going to be out in full effect when First Take comes to Atlanta. That's going to be good. I might have to fly up there for that one.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. But, Coach, man, football is here, baby.
Football is here, man. It's going to be an exciting game tomorrow, you know. Hope these guys can come out victorious with Mr. Mosley.
Yeah. From 3rd Ward, Houston, to the hills up in Prairie View. It's time to kick this baby off, baby. And I'm telling you, the vibe is just turned up now in H-Town and the surrounding area, and these kids are going to put on a pretty good show. Let's make sure that they are safe, stay safe, and that's the main thing, man. You want these kids to come out of this game healthy, you know, and ready to play. So, Coach, any last words, thoughts, criticisms?
Be safe out there over the weekend. We know a lot of people going to the big games. Good luck to all our head coaches, Mr. Mosley, and I get ready to talk to you again on next week.
Yeah, and one last thing, the MEAC SWAC Challenge set a new viewership record with 1.3 million viewers. Congratulations. Awesome. Congratulations. And that really took the place of what happened back in 2010 when Southern played Delaware State, and their audience, it surpassed them by 27%. That's a lot. Wow, that's pretty good. So that means fans are engaged, Coach. People want to see HBCU football, and it is here. Don't forget, go to HBCUlegends.net, and you can be able to find me on HBCU Legends on all the social media platforms, as well as at KTMOZE. Coach, how can they find you on the World Wide Web right quick?
HBCU Legends, Sports Illustrated, and Tycoon League, the number 2 at gmail.com.
Tycoon League. He's a tycoon. He's a mogul. He won't say it, but he won't give up the money. I've been trying to give him, say, hey, Coach, can you just please give me the money, man? Nah, he won't give me the money. But that's okay, Cole. All right. You're still my boy. All right, Kyle T. Mosley, HBCU Legends. Guys, have a great Labor Day weekend. Thank you. Bye.